It is time to continue with this cat cafe house. And I'm looking forward to doing this together with you. We have done a lot on this little building here for now. And we still need a lot to do on this one. It is the cat cafe garden room box that we are working on. This guy right here. So you can see we still need the roof and a lot of the details on the inside. But we will start with a single thing that I jumped a long time ago, and that was this little I don't even know what to call that, the little thing over, yeah, from this box here to this box here. So let me just do that like this and say hi to everyone. I hope you will enjoy this live and thank you for joining me. I'm gonna go and take my thread because there was not enough for the little thing here after building that scratch post here. So I am taking my own thread and then I'm taking these small steps here. Let me see if I can get it into the camera angle. So I am trying to make that little thing going from this side to the other side of this one. So I am taking my thread and I'm just cutting off this end because it kind of split open, so we can't use that for anything. And then they say to take, I need to see the piece of this. It has a length somewhere in the booklet. Hi everyone and welcome to my channel. It says 5 centimeters. I have my ruler right here. So I am going to, that was inches, we don't need that. We need the centimeters. So I am gonna take, whoops, 5 centimeters, that's around here. And I'm gonna cut that off and then I'm gonna make one more. Just like the first one. And I'm gonna cut that off. Let's put this to the side and hi Liz and welcome. Let me put the house a bit to the side here. I'm trying to get a little room here to work. Did I push my camera? I think I did. Anyway, so I have the 2 strings here and these pieces of wood that is gonna go on top. Actually, I think I'm gonna do it the other way around and then place them on my little mat here and then glue the string on top of them. So I'm trying to place them with around the same length between. I think that is perfect. Maybe a little too big here, because we need some extra ends on the thread to glue it into the box. And I'm gonna take my tacky glue. I have my tacky glue in a big bottle and I placed it in this little one because I like this little needle nozzle. It takes a little force to get it out, but I really like it like this. So I am gonna pop some glue here on these pieces of wood. And I should have been doing it on something so that I could move it after gluing it, but we will see how everything goes. Hi honey, thank you for joining. So I am just popping this into the glue, trying to keep it straight, taking my glue again and then gluing the other side of the string, or the other string on the other side. like that, head on, and popping in the string here into the glue. This one is a bit wonky. I think it's okay, but I rather want it a little more equal. Anyway, that's this piece, and now I need to move that somehow. Maybe really carefully up here. Perfect, so I can move that to the side. Okay, so that will have to dry a tiny bit before we can put it into the house that I have right here next to me. So we are, let's see, we have done all the things here on this page, just not the food. So I am going to try to figure out F06. That must be one of the pieces I have in the little bag here. So let's see if I can find that, because there is a lot of pieces left. That was not it. Let's see the other one here. I have one more here. See if I can find that. F11, F0606, F0605. That's the one we need. Found it. So I am just gonna go up here and cut this piece out. Come on. There we go. And pop this to the side, and this one. So I'm just gonna double check. F0605. That's the one. And we need white, red, white, yellow, white. So white, let me take that. So the white, the red, and the yellow. And we need a piece of this one for all of them. Oh, let me cut this first. I think that's easier. Put that to the side. I forgot to find my little garbage can today, so we will do without. So what are you all doing? And I would also like to know if this time fits you better than Friday at this time. So if this is a better day, that would be actually perfect for me as well. So tell me if this is a better day for you guys. And then we could maybe move it to here instead of on Fridays. So that was red. Now we need a yellow. One yellow. There we go. And then two of the white. Let me take it from this corner. So I'm just gonna carefully cut the piece that I need here. Oh, and I think that was 3 parts I needed from this one. So 2 more. This is a little difficult to cut in this white one because it's a little more soft than the colored ones. And then one more here. And this is for the food that we are going to do. It's normally something I am making out of polymer clay, but I am going to try to do it like this because it tells me to, and I think the idea is really cool. I am working today is good. That's nice, Liz. Thank you. I am knitting. Oh, that sounds nice as well. Today's good. Okay, so maybe we have to change it from Friday to Thursday. Oh, don't let me go out of frame, guys. So where's the picture? It's here. Just triple checking. Here it's white, red, white, yellow, and white. Yes. And I think actually the order is not that specific. If it's white or yellow in top, it doesn't really matter. So I'm again using my tacky glue and popping some glue here on the yellow one, and then I am stacking that with the white one. There we go. And then white on the yellow. I have to squeeze a little harder on this one because tacky glue is a little more thick than a normal school glue is. So the white on the yellow, then the red. Come on. I hope the weather by you are better than it have been here the last week. We have had so much rain for the last week, and it's been raining on and off, and you think it's over and then it starts again. It looks like the white they use are thinner, but that is the only white I have in this. I'm just looking in my box here next to me. It's the only white I have in here. I do have some white paper though. Nope, that's not white. That's pink as well. I think that's for flowers. So this must be the right thing. It just looks like theirs are longer and thinner than mine. But now we're gonna do this. And I'm just popping a lot of glue here on the red. And then the white on top. And I just cut that a little crooked, so let me just correct that little piece here. So that's a sandwich, or one of them. Squeeze that really good today together. No rain for at least 3 weeks, hot and dry. Ooh, that doesn't sound that nice either. Or is that just because I don't like heat? But I could do without the rain. Driving a truck. Yes, I know, honey, you're working, and you should work instead of listening to me. They actually want me to do the same layer just with a yellow and a green. Can you see that? So that's yellow and green, and they want me to cut triangular shapes out of this one. I'm trying to see, they want 3 of them, maybe. And then I need to cut a little of the green for some topping, but let me just, that is the same measurements. Yeah, I think so. So let me just cut, that is, stop teasing me. So I'm just gonna start with cutting out that green piece that we need. There we go. Let me take one of the yellow right away. Pop that on here. Cut that out. There we go. So we don't need the yellow anymore, but I need 3 of the white. So we are just gonna, let me take this one here first. So I'm just gonna cut these out. That was 1. 1 more. 2. And then the last one here. Looks a tiny bit crooked as well, but I can correct that later. There we go. Put that to the side. That was actually a lot of crooked. This white one is a bit harder to cut in as it's so soft, where the other ones are a little more not that bendy as this one is. This is more flexible, so it's a little harder to cut in. Let me take my glue, again my tacky glue, and I'm popping the glue here on the green one to start with. Gluing that onto one of the white ones. There we go. Gluing a white one on top of this one. All the way out to the edge here so that it is all sticking together when we are ready to cut the squares. On the yellow, popping that onto the white, and then the last layer, sorry that I am having my hands in the picture so you can't see what I'm doing right now, but this one needs a little more squish. There we go. The last white on top of that. There we go. And then we need to let that dry for a tiny bit. And then we should make these small cut pieces of the green. So I'm doing that. Let me just make a few lines here. And I'm thinking about maybe I could tear these apart. I can. So I'm just tearing small pieces of the strips that I cut here. It's a little hard. I might have to cut it as well, because I see they're maybe a little too long here. So I'm just making some green small pieces here. I don't know if this is enough, but we will see. I did a little here. There we go. I got a little bunch of that green. Put these to the side. And now we need to cut them up in the triangular shape, and they say 9 millimeters times 7 and 7. I think I am just gonna go with the flow. So if I am cutting here and there, then I would be able to get 3 out of this one. Let me start with the one with the red in there, because that has been drying for a little longer. So I'm just cutting off the corner here. And that is garbage. Then I am cutting in this direction, making this triangular shape. Oh, they look so big. And then this way. And then the last one. I think that is good. Get rid of that one. So I have 3 of these with the yellow and the red in there. I don't know how good they are holding up, but I did glue it together. And they want me to take a tiny bit of this and glue on top in one end. So I'm just gonna divide this. I'm just watching here and seeing I only need for these 3. So I'm just dividing this greenery up in these 3 parts here, like that. And then we need to glue. Just don't cut a finger. I'm trying not to. But with my luck, I might have to cut a finger just because it's the way I normally do things. So I just popped a tiny bit of glue. This is just a normal paper glue. I was thinking that would be enough for this topping here. So I'm just making a big bead of the glue here on top. And then I am placing these green pieces in there. And then they want me to top it with a bead. And I have that in this little bag here. I have these tiny, tiny glass beads here. Let me see if I can get 3 of them out. 2, and the last one. Come on. There you are. 3 tiny glass beads. And I think I'm gonna take my tacky glue for that one. They want that on top of the greenery. So I am putting a bead of my glue on top of the greenery here. Pop the lid on there and then place these beads into the glue. Maybe a little cherry or a strawberry. It could be some strawberry marmalade or something we have right here. So that was the red ones. And I am taking a look. So one of them is going on a plate. And I made these small plate of Cernid polymer clay instead of these with the the red stripe on there. That was a hard one. Instead of the red striped paper thingy here that can easily be broken, I am taking these that I made myself, and I made more than enough. So they want me to place one of these red ones here on that plate. So again, I am going to take my glue. Actually, I'm gonna get rid of these 2. So I'm gonna just pop in a big blob of paper glue here. And then I'm gonna place this little piece of cake in my glue. And I'm saying little, I'm actually thinking it's too big for my plate. And they want me to do the same here, and this is not at all glued together, so I'm not sure these are either. Nope. It's like it's not gluing at all. I'm thinking of what I can do if I have something else to glue with. But I really don't want to use hot glue or something like that, because that will ruin everything. So I'm just gonna leave it and hope for the best. And I am going to cut the next 3 triangular shapes out of this one, but I'm gonna make them smaller because I think the red ones are a bit too big, and these ones are going to be placed like that on a plate, it looks like. I'm trying to figure out. They made 3, so 1 on a plate and 2 into the little window stand. I'm not sure what I think about these, because I'm not sure they will keep the shape. But we will see. So I'm taking another plate and we will glue that one on there. Actually, I am going to try to take my super glue here and just see if I have enough in this one. I had. And just pop that out on this piece of cake and then place that on this little plate here and hope that will work, because this is not gluing together at all. I'm not happy with these cakes. Not at all happy with these cakes. Oh well. So I have 2 on a plate, and I have 2 without anything and 2 with decorations. And then they want me to take some little metal piece here, and I'm not sure what that is, because that's this one. That's another plate, so I have made a plate for that one as well. I have that right here. And then they want these pieces of foam, or what they are. Let me see, I have them right here in this little bag. I'm pretty sure that's the ones. Oh, they want me to make a lot of those, or use a lot of those. So I'm just gonna pour some of these out. So they want 2 yellows, and 2 red. That is some kind of rubber. Anyway, they want 2 of these to be glued on a plate. I'm gonna move these small cakes here. Do I need my, I think I will. So I'm just popping my glue here on my plate. And then they want them to stand up. I'm trying to do this without knocking everything over, and I just lost one of them. It needs to stand. Right there. Well, they look bigger on the picture, and then they have some of that green fluff all over there, but I'm not really digging this. So they're just here. I don't know if you can see that on that little plate here, standing right there. It looks empty. And then they want me to take 2 more plates. One, where's the other one? Right here. And then they want a blue and a yellowish and a pink. Whoa, 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 whoa. That is more brown than yellow. I take this one instead. No, this one. Blue and yellow. And then pink. Yes. And then they glue that flat on the plate. So blue first, then the yellow, and then pink. And they do that on 2 of the plates. I like that better than the cake. here they actually make some of the green going over as well. Let me just clean these up. There's a lot of these pieces here. I think you don't need all of these for this build, so you might be able to use them for something else if you have something you would like to use this for. There we go. Let's now put together. Then I need this, and this part. So I have this little blue bead here, and I have these small paw prints, and then some wire that I am going to unwind a tiny bit of. See if I can get it a little more straight here. I think that helped a lot. There we go. So they want me to cut this one into slices, and they want 4 slices. Where's my knife? Here it is. So they want 4 slices. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. I can make one more, just because. There we go. And I'm gonna save this little piece because we never know if we can use it for something else. So 3 of these slices should be going into this little bowl here, and they don't fit at all. But they want me to stack them, so I'm gonna take the smallest ones here and glue them in. I don't know how yet, but we will try. Using my super glue gel here, because I know that will work. Place that into my little bowl. Then I just pop in a dot more of the glue and take the next one and place that on top. Why should I put that in slices when I could just have made a big one and placed on there? That would have looked just as good. Sorry about that. Cheers. That's better. Then they want to take a piece of this that is a little less than a centimeter. So I'm just going to cut that off. And they want me to insert that into this little piece here. I am just going to stab it first. See if I can do that. And then I'm just going to try to insert this one. Whoops. It's so tiny. Pop it in there. I just poked my finger. There we go. That's a lollipop. I think I used the wrong piece of wire for that, but I like the size of it. It's not that big. Let me see if I can show you a bit better. Yes, I did poke myself. Ah, I'm bleeding. There we go. So that is a little lollipop, and it is actually going out on the other side. But I think it will be working anyway, because that one is going to go on a plate as well. That must be the last plate. I think that's the last plate. Yep. So that one is glued here onto the plate. So I'm just popping in a tiny bit. Sorry about that. I'm just popping a tiny bit of my super glue gel on there and then placing that on my plate. And then I have that extra one. I'm not sure what to do with that one. Anyway, I am just taking a look here at the tables. I have these small tables here that we are going to decorate. So first one we are taking, I'm gonna do this with my normal paper glue. So we're gonna take the cake here with the red, and we're gonna glue that to the table. And then we're gonna take this little one with the lollipop on, and we're gonna glue that to the table as well. And then I will have to find these small forks that comes with the little set here. See if I can get them out. There they are. And I need these 2 cup thingies as well. Oh, you can't see what I'm doing. So that's the first table, and we need a little spoon here. No, not a spoon, a fork. That is so tiny, so tiny. And I'm gonna glue that here on the table next to the cake with just a tiny dot of my paper glue. There's my, I got way too much glue here. I'm happy that's gonna dry translucent. And I have the other fork right there, and this one is making a annoying shadow, so let me put that to the side. So the other table here, let me put these weird cakes to the side. So the other table will have this little piece of cake glued to it like that. The little fork is actually glued to the plate. Let me see if I can grab it again. And then trying to get that into the glue as well so that it will stay in place. And then the 2 pieces here, that is just some really decorative beads. They're used as a cup, so I'm just gonna take that, and I think I need my super glue for that because that is plastic. So I'm just gonna pop a tiny bit of super glue gel here around the brim of one of these beads and place it on the little table. And I'm gonna do the same with this one. And place that on the table. There we go. So that's the 2 tables here. All done. I'm gonna move these pieces here a tiny bit to the side. I'm not gonna need this one. So I'm gonna pop that in there and this one in there. Oops, I didn't get it in there. Let me see. There we go. Yeah. Now for the house. First of all, I think this little thing here is ready to be placed. I need my tacky glue for this, so I don't know if you can see what I'm doing here. So I'm popping a dot of glue here and a dot of glue right here. I don't know if you can see that, but I have 2 dots of glue, and I'm placing the yarn into those glue dots, and it is unraveling, so I'm just gonna pop a little more of the glue on top here, and then I'm gonna do the same down here on this piece where it is going down to. I know it's hard to see, I'm sorry about that. But there it is. The little bridge is all done. Let me show you. So that piece of cat toy is all done, and I actually think it looks really cute. That's neat. Okay, so I am gonna move these things here. I really don't want to glue today. I might have to find some other glue. Oops. Anyway, all these cakes are going into this little stand we have right here in the corner. And I was thinking about, because they just pop it in there, I can do that. So I'm just gonna squeeze it together and try and pop it in there. And yes, my cake piece is way too big. And I really don't like these cakes, so I am gonna do these over, I think, in polymer clay, because I don't like them. I really don't like them. They want me to put that all into the little room here, including this little plate with the candy on here, or what that is. It looks so much more yummy on the picture. And they want me to place the plate and 2 pieces of cake next to each other on this tiny shelf here. I'm trying to show you a little better. So if I take the plate here with the cake and place that in there, they want me to have 2 pieces of cake here on the shelves next to it. But if I take this little cake here and place it in there, and that's just one of them, that's it. There's no more room, and I cannot even get it in there. I don't really like this cake. It's not gonna do what I want it to. But there's no room for 2 cakes in there. We saw cat cafes in Japan. Ooh, when we were there visiting several years ago, I couldn't make myself go in, "Aw," because I knew I'd want to adopt all the cats. Yeah, I get you, I really do. But I really would love to get into a cat cafe once. I have to do something about all of this, because I'm not happy with the result, and the same with these cakes here. The only thing I really like here is the little dessert, and it's not even gluing down right now. I'm gonna take off these cakes here, because I don't like them. Off they go. Off they go. And I'm gonna take my super glue here instead, and I'm gonna glue these down with super glue, because this paper glue is not working right now for the plates. So I'm just gonna carefully take my plates here and pop a dot of my super glue and paper glue together. That is kind of an instant bond, so that is pretty good. And I'm gonna do that with this one as well. There we go. So they are glued down. I need to make some cakes, because this is not working for me. And these are okay, but this one, I'm not sure. This one I like. And that one is going on the counter here. This blue one is gonna go, if I can get it, it's gonna be standing. Yes, I'm gonna move my hand in a second. But that's gonna stay here. That's gonna stand here on the counter. If I can make it work. Nope, I cannot. It's supposed to go here. Right there on the counter, and it's not. There we go. And now I dropped it anyway. Oh well. But it's supposed to go there, but I cannot put it in or on before I have my cakes. So I'm gonna put that to the side. So I have this little one. I'm gonna save that with my chairs. And these ones are going in there as well. But not now. And these pieces of cakes here. Does it say where they go? I don't seem to see. I do not see them anywhere. Where did they put them? In the window? Sorry, I am just trying to figure out where these cakes are going, or plates are going to go, but it's not that easy. I'm just gonna go through that really quick. I found one of them on the outside table, and I think the other one is going into the window or the desk part. Yes, it is. Okay. I wanted to go ahead, but now I want to make the cake, so you're in for a ride. I am just gonna get up and find a few small things here behind my camera. Sorry about that. I was not prepared on making cake right now. So yellow. That was yellow. It was green and red. I have the red somewhere here. And green. And then I think I'm gonna take this one. And I need a tool as well. This is very chaotic. I am really sorry about that. There we go. So I am going to play with polymer clay today. I normally don't do that in my live streams because it takes like forever. But I need that cake and I need it now. So I am going to start with this color, taupe or tarp, or how you call that, I really don't know. And I'm gonna go in here, oops, and take a piece of that. See if I can make these cakes today, because this is not what I like. Okay, and I need my pasta machine, and it's over here. So that goes here on the side of my table, and I have it on one of the smaller setting. And I'm gonna move this little house here because it's in my way. And the little tables, they can stand right here. So I am gonna put this through my pasta machine on a smaller setting, but not the smallest one, because you don't want it to be too small. And I'm gonna cut a strip of that out. I might have to cut one more. Let's see, this is around 1 centimeter wide. I'm not doing it 100%. I always work a little sloppy with my clay, and I need to have it in so you can see what I'm doing here. So I made these two pieces. Then I want the red clay. So I'm taking a piece of my red clay and I'm trying to get this to work and putting that through my pasta machine. And cutting that so I have that 1 centimeter thickness stripe. Like that. Come on. There we go. Then we need a piece more of this brown. Let me just do like this. Take off the red here and place the brown on top of the red. Then we need a tiny bit of the yellow. So I am rolling that out and through my pasta machine again. I have that next to me. That was nice. And then I need one of these 1 centimeter stripes. And it might look like I'm just eyeballing it, but I have my my work mat underneath so I can see the measurements there. So I'm not eyeballing it that much. There we go. And then I need a piece of the brown again. That's around this length. Taking that and placing that on top. Oh, and I need my ceramic vat as well. Let me just cut the end off here. And there I have my first cake piece, or a bread thing, or what it is. That was a piece of bread come over there. So I am just gonna make my triangular shapes out of this piece. There we have one. Should I have fixed the back end here? Yes, I should have. So 1 piece, 2 piece, and 3 pieces. And the rest I'm just gonna save that in my scrap pile of clay. So here I have 1 piece of my little cake. I know it's a little not that close on. Let me see if I can do something about that. Nah. But I could pull it a little up so it's easier for you to see what I'm doing. Then I have my needle tool here, and I'm just gonna go in and correct the tip here of the cake a little and give the brown piece some texture here on the side parts. And I'm just making small circle motions. Where did I do that? Put that was there, and this is here, and this is garbage. And I'm gonna do that. Actually, I have 2 of the pieces that is going to stand up like that, and one is gonna be placed like that. So I'm just gonna work like this, and then I am gonna again give this end piece over here a tiny bit of some scratching texture. So yes, this live stream is a tiny bit chaotic today. I'm sorry about that. Definitely did not go like I wanted to. I was wanting to get a little longer with the house and get a few of the furnitures in there and stuff like that. But now we are dealing with the polymer clay instead. Even though I really didn't want to. But now we're doing it. There we go. And then I have a toothbrush right here. Hi, and I'm just gonna give the sides here a tiny bit of a texture. It's a little hard because they're actually sitting really close. And I don't bother about this side here underneath because it's gonna be glued on that side anyway. So don't worry about that. And I'm giving the top layer of this cake as well and then I'm just gonna go in all the way around on the sides, again only on the brownish colored clay here. And we do this on all 3 sides of this cake. And normally I take a lot of time doing this, but I don't want to have you sitting there for hours just looking at me scratching a piece of cake here. So that was one of those, and then we should make the other one with the brown in there. Let me just cap this one. So the brown piece again, going through my pasta machine. And then it was, let me see, I have my garbage pile, it's somewhere here. Yellow and green, that should be in this one. So again, I am not eyeballing, I am using my mat underneath for measurements. So I am taking this piece and making it into a slice that is around 1 centimeter wide. And this is way too much, but it's all fine. And I was like, that was green and yellow. So not the red one. And I don't need any more of that one. So we take the green here. And I'm gonna take a piece of my green. And I think I have a piece of red on the bottom. I have. So I am going to roll that through my pasta machine. Whoops, and I threw it on the floor. Just a second. I'm back. Rolling it through my pasta machine, and I am going to cut this again in the around 1 centimeters width. And I am using the placemat I have underneath here for some kind of measurements. This is a little crooked. Let me do it like this. So that was the green. Let me take that off. And I'm gonna place this piece on top of the brown. And I didn't do a good job with the thickness here, so I am gonna correct this a tiny bit. And then I need the piece to go on top of the green. There we go. And then I need the yellow piece. I am making these cakes instead of those pieces that they wanted me to do. They want me to make these cakes out of some felt, and I don't really like the way that looked, so I am doing my cakes by hand, because I think even though that I am rushing it a tiny bit with making these cakes, I still think these will be better than the ones that they wanted me to work with, because it didn't want to glue together, and it's not small enough, if you ask me, and I am just not liking those cakes. So I'm making my own. And I need a tiny bit of the red again, because we had the cherries and the green for the topping. I'm just making sure everything is nice and well sticked together. Putting that clay away. Now for the cakes, we need 3 of them. So I am first removing one edge here, then making one of the triangular shapes. making one more, and then actually the last one that needs to be standing like that, and I am having enough for one more, so I'm gonna make one more. There we go. Taking my tool here, actually first I'm gonna take my toothbrush and give it a little texture here on top. Let's see, I think I'm gonna do it with the needle first. So I'm making small circle movements here in the brown clay, not the colored clay. Well, the brown is colored too, but only the brown colored clay are getting these circles, moving thingies in the end of the clay. So give it a little texture, making it a tiny bit more real or realistic, even though that it is hard to do so when I am live, because normally I use a lot of time with my cakes and stuff like this, and I'm just really kind of rushing this. But I still think that these cakes will be better than those that Sid want me to make. Sorry if I'm not talking too much. I am trying to do this fast enough that it's not getting too boring, and slow enough that it still looks pretty decent. And for some reason my clay is pretty soft today. I think I have a little too much heat in this room today for some reason. I don't think it's that hot in the weather outside, so I don't know why it's hot in here. But I'm used to my clay being a little soft, so it's fine. Last side here. There we go, and then I need to put a little texture here in the sides of these. So there are my cakes. I actually think they turned out a lot of better than the original. Hi honey. And then they have this little food bowl or water bowl for the cats that is made of paper, and I was thinking about taking a tiny bit of my red clay here, because they want it to be made in red paper. Let me see if I can find it for you. So you can see what I'm talking about. This one right here, it's made of paper, and then that metal thing here is put on the inside. So I was thinking about first of all moving this one so I can have a little more space to work on, and I got a little of my red clay in there. So I was thinking about making a bowl out of polymer clay instead, and I actually had that in mind from the very start of. So I am trying to roll a tiny ball here first of all, then place that on my work surface. No, that was not really good. There we go. And I'm just gonna squeeze that and then take this little piece here, see what I have, what I can squeeze it down with. And squeeze it down into the clay. Whoops. Nope, not like that. I was kind of making it deform. There we go, that's better. And then just trying to shape this around this little metal piece here that I just made into a bad shape, and I'm just really not lucky with my crafting today. This is just one of those days where I should stay in bed. And just trying to make it look a tiny bit neat. I might have to take a tiny bit more of my clay here and I don't know how to do this. I was not prepared for all this, but I actually think it looks pretty neat. So I'm just because it's a little lopsided right now, so I'm thinking of popping a little extra here on the sides and try to smooth that out, making it look better. Yeah, I think that's a little better. I hope this metal can stand the microwave, not the microwave, the oven. Some metals don't like ovens. But I hope this one is okay with it. I think this is pretty okay. I feel it's a little lopsided, but I can always sand it later if I'm not happy with the shape of it. But I think it's coming together. And now you know why I normally don't do polymer clay live, because it takes like a long time to do the things, and then you have to wait for it to bake and stuff like that, so it always takes like forever. So I am going to take a little of I have a lot of dirt everywhere. So I'm gonna take a tiny bit of my green here and just make some, I'm scratching off the tip of that one, and then I can pop that on there on the cakes, and it will stay on the cake because it's all unbaked. I don't want it to be too big slices here, just a tiny bit. I'm kind of scratching it off so I get these small pieces of the green clay, and I'm placing that on a few of these, just like they did with the felt they had there. So I'm just gonna pop that green on there, maybe a little more on this one. There we go. And then 3 small red berries. For that I need a tiny bit of the red. I have that right here. Just a tiny bit. And I'm trying to roll it into a little snake. And then I want to have 3 equal slices of this. 1, 2, 3 of that. The rest can go in my little basket or box for that. Roll, 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 roll. And come on. Pop that on there. Next one. Rolling it between my fingers, picking it up and placing it on top of all this green thingy thing. And the last one. Looks like small cherries. I actually think that looks pretty neat. So I made the cake myself, and the cat bowl as well, and now this needs to go into the oven, but I will have to do that when we are done here, because that takes like forever. So I'm just gonna clean out here. So we have made these small plates here, and these, and then this one, and I was thinking of keeping this one, and I had a few ideas for how to fix this little plate. First of all, I think of cut it smaller so there is actually room for it in the little cabinet for it. And I'm not sure I did this pretty good. That is so rough. So I'm just gonna give it a tiny bit of sanding here. To make it a little more interesting again, more round. It's not that round anymore. But I think that will do. When it's in there, you won't see it. And then I am gonna leave you again for a second here, because I have my different kinds of dessert topping master standing in my cabinet over here. And I was thinking about maybe giving this one a tiny bit of this on the top here to make it a little more interesting. It will dry a little more translucent than it is now. And I think that's better than all that green thingy. And I might have to do it on these two as well, just to make it a little more interesting. Just popping it over there. This one is the strawberry milk. So I'm gonna pop that on there, and that will dry in around 20 minutes, half an hour. So I have to leave that standing here to dry. And we made the 2 tables where we're gonna put the cake when it's done. And it's now all glued together thanks to my super glue. So that's nice. These tables won't stay on. They don't want to be standing. So that was the cake. That was the toy for the house. It was the food bowl. So this one. And the food bowl. And then I was thinking about making the next toy here. That's a little cushion to sit in. But this day is kind of chaotic. I don't know what's happening here. It's only been an hour and 15 minutes. Okay, let me go and find this little kitty here. And oh yeah, we have this little sign here. Let me take that first. That's gonna go on top of the little cake stand. So I am just gonna start with cutting that out. There we go. And then you need to bend it around the middle, and I'm always doing that over my scissor because I can do it a little easier that way. So I have this little sail sign, tiny sign, and I'm gonna take this over and I'm gonna use my a tacky glue here and popping a tiny dot of tacky glue mostly on the inside of this little sign if I can get it to work. Come on. Here at the bottom. And then I'm gonna place it here on the top of this little box where the food is going to go in. And that is hard to show you. I think maybe it works. You can see it right here on top. So that piece is also done. That's nice. I like that. There we go. Then I'm going to take this piece here, this long strip we have right here, and I'm going to cut that out. Make sure you save this part here because you will need that later. That was garbage. Cutting this piece here out. There we go. And I need to find my how to, because it says that I need the white felt here. And I have to glue this strip here onto the white felt. So I'm gonna do that with my tacky glue because this paper is a bit glossy. And I want this to stay as good as possible. Out in the corners. And then place that here on this white felt, just like that. Then I need these two pieces and this round circle. And again, I just make sure I have the right one. It says, this one says 17.5. Yes, that's the one I need. So I'm just gonna pop that out. There we go. And this we don't need. Put that back into the box. And I'm not gonna do this one today because I am feeling tired now for some reason. Let me put that to the side, and then I'm gonna cut these two pieces out. This is just for showing how big sizes we need of this little piece of fabric here. But it's easier if I just start with cutting them out. So this piece, and then this circle, we need that one as well. And as you know, I am really not good with cutting circles. But I'm pretty sure it doesn't really matter when it's all done. You won't see it if it's a little crooked. Put that in the garbage. So I am having this really nice piece of fabric here. And they want me to cut this piece out of this fabric. So I'm just gonna place it on my fabric and then cut it out. There we have the first piece of fabric, so I can put that piece in the garbage. And then I need the circle piece here. I can take that right here. Take the rest, and I'm gonna save that because I don't know if we need the rest of that one. So save all your small pieces, because maybe you need them later, or maybe you could use them for something else, another project that we are working on. That was the circle. So this one is going on top of this one, and it should have been fitting 100%. I'm not sure it is, but I am going to use my tacky glue, popping glue all over this little circle, turning it around and gluing that on there. And then I can always go in and cut around this, because that's so much easier than just cutting it out of the fabric. There we go. It looks a little rough here, but it's fine. It's all fine. And I have all these small pieces of fabric. Away with you. Then we take these here and we cut it out of the felt. And there we go. I have it right there. So this we can put to the side. And then we take this piece and we place this piece on top of it. Actually this way. And then we glue down the sides, and I'm just making sure, no, actually they want us to do it like this and the glue, but I think the result will be better if I glue it up over. Nah, I'm sure you're right. Okay, I'm gonna do what they say. So first, glue on this back side here. And this is my tacky glue. I should have taken the other bottle, because this one is more for smaller gluing. Precision gluing. So I'm gluing that to the bottom of the fabric. And then I am popping glue on the paper here. It's easier with both hands, sorry about that. Just give me a second. There we go. Pop the lid on there. And then fold this around without getting glue everywhere. So that you have the fabric all the way around and down over the paper as well. There we go. It's a little too short, but that's fine. And then they want me to glue that all the way around this one. Oh, that's perfect, so I can cut this piece off. There we go. Yes, it fits perfect. I'm not sure my glue can handle this, but I will try it. So I am gonna pop my tacky glue on this little disc all the way around. I think that will be a lot of holding right here. And I see that my YouTube is telling me there is a error or something on the line, so I will do this one and then I will end for today. Also because I will have to sit here for a little and keep this together. And I'm just gonna glue this end piece here. There we go. And then pop this together in the circle. And then it's supposed to be this little cat that's gonna go in there. This little cat comes with the set. And I'm not sure this glue will hold it. It's not gonna. So I'm gonna end this live stream, and then I'm gonna take my hot glue and I'm gonna glue this together with my hot glue, because this is not gonna work. But that is it for today. I know it is a little chaotic and difficult, and everything has been a little annoying, and oh well. Anyway, I am going to say thank you for today. I hope you will have a very nice evening, night, or morning, or wherever where you are. Thank you for joining me. I have had a lot of fun with this. I hope you had as well. I will bake this, and I will make this little bed all done, and I will place everything in the little house, and then I will place some pictures of that on my Facebook. I will leave you a link for that in the info box below. You can always find my links in my link tree that is in the info box. Anyway, I will stop for today. Thank you for watching, and happy crafting.